guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to my channel Looking for Adventure. So I kind of wanted to tell you guys a little bit about me and who I am and how I got started in art and everything like that. So I had been doing art and at least arts and crafts. I think most of us have since we were little. We used to do it in school and everything like that. But my mom was so creative and she used to always help me come up with some of the coolest ideas for teachers' gifts and summer projects and school projects and everything like that. And I remember for our 100 days of school, most people did the 100 pennies on a piece of poster board or something like that, and we took a giant beautiful box and we Xeroxed all of my A+ papers and we put them around the box, and so it was 100 papers of, you know, straight A's essentially. And it was really cute. We added a giant decorative bow on top and we filled it with goodies to give to the class, and it was super cute. Or we used to do this really amazing thing where we would take these silk scarves that were white and we would have certain dyes and we'd basically like watercolor dye, like dip dye them and give them as teacher's gifts. So it was this beautiful tie-dye, not like the tie-dye you think of on shirts, but it was like this gorgeous flowing watercolor tie-dye with these silk scarves and handkerchiefs for teachers. And so I always grew up in a very creative environment. You know, my mom really inspired me. My aunt was incredibly creative. She taught me how to make beads out of clay, and she does these beautiful clay sculptures still to this day. I mean, she taught me just all this stuff. So when I'd go to visit her, there was always a new arts and crafts project that I got to learn, and it was awesome. And so I always kind of stuck with that, and I really got into musical theater. That was actually my major in college, was musical theater and teaching, and I still love it. I do love it. I do it all the time. That's in part why we have Singing Saturday, I guess. But it really also inspires me. It's another type of art, I think, and so it really influences a lot of the things that I do in my art, being a musical theater major and everything like that. But really about a year ago, I got back into kind of scrapbooking and mixed media and all that kind of stuff. I randomly went to Beverly's and they were having a free make and take, and I thought, well, you know, why not? I haven't been crafting that much. It kind of went away from my life. I was really focused on singing and acting and everything, and I was doing really well in that. And I was there, and some ladies who came in for the free make and take as well were like, oh, you should check out the scrapbook shop down the street. They're also doing a free make and take. And I thought, well, that's a great idea. Why not? I was actually looking for the scrapbook shop, and it just happened to be Scrapbooking Made Simple, which is now my kind of home base scrapbook shop. It was so much fun, and they do make and takes every single Saturday, and so I kind of just kept coming back Saturday after Saturday after Saturday because Stacy is amazing. And so if you haven't seen Scrapbooking Made Simple or heard of them, I'll leave a link to their website down below. But I then kind of got really creative when I had a long distance relationship, and so I started making a lot more cards and a lot of kind of like book pages, sort of like easy scrapbook pages that we could write on to send back and forth to each other, and I really got back into art. And it wasn't until I discovered mixed media that I really, I think, completely fell in love, because with card making I was having trouble sort of putting certain pattern papers together. I thought the paper was gorgeous, but I just kind of, I don't know, my brain can't wrap around putting different patterns and colors together. So if you watch a lot of my videos, you'll see that a lot of times I take white paper and I create my own. I make my own colors and designs and stuff like that because I know it'll match and it'll look exactly the way that I want it to. But I found mixed media, and specifically I ended up finding Fina Bear, and I absolutely love a lot of her stuff, and I ended up for my birthday last July taking a class with her, and at that point I was hooked. It made sense in my mind, and exactly what I wanted to come out on the canvas did, and it was the most exciting thing. And I was just creating canvas after canvas after canvas. I kept, as you guys saw in my Prima outlet haul video, I kept going back to the outlet and getting more and more things because it's such a great deal. But I just loved it, and so whenever I could, I would definitely try and create. I had problems on set where my hands would be stained from the Lindy sprays, because I don't know about you guys, but my skin just absorbs ink immediately. I've had this problem since I was a little kid, and it'll take days to get off no matter how much I wash my hands and I scrub and I do everything possible. So if my hands are ever stained in videos, just know that first of all, I do tend to film them out of order. So if nail polish or my hands look different, that's why. And two, I promise I wash my hands, I scrub them, but my hands get stained. For whatever reason, my hands have just absorbed ink my entire life. But I wasn't able to fully create a lot all the time when I wanted to, because I was on set a lot. And so it wasn't until I got a little bit of a break, because we do get slow seasons and fast seasons for acting and everything like that. And I moved in with my boyfriend, and it was a slow season, and I was able to kind of create more. So I was making some stuff for him when I moved in, which is normally on the back wall right up there. That was one of the pieces I made for him. And then I made some beautiful picture frames for his mom for Christmas. And he was so encouraging and just full of support. And he was like, you have to do this. This is awesome. That we decided when I moved in with him that we would make this giant table that you see behind you. And we did make a video on that. So if you live in a tiny, tiny apartment in Chicago or New York or LA like we do, we live in a very small studio apartment here in LA. I mean, basically, this table is like 2/3 of the apartment, so he was very generous. You know, check out that video. I don't think that you have to have an entire craft room to be able to craft. You know, don't feel bad if you don't have every single type of paper in the world and 50 million colors of Lindy sprays or stuff like that. It's okay. You know, I would love to have more distress inks, but I don't, and I love the ones that I use. So don't feel bad. I find that it almost helps you be more creative when you have some limitations on you, which is in part why we made the days of the week that we did. But we made this table, and I started creating, and he was like, you know, you really should start posting this. You should start selling it. You should start making videos, especially because you like to teach. And I did start teaching at the age of 12 for figure skating and Special Olympics, because I guess that most of you guys don't know this, but I was actually a national and international figure skater. I did ice theater. That was my entire life right there. Growing up, I of course did dance and, you know, other things, but my big thing up until a few years ago when I retired was figure skating. I was very, very, very heavily involved with it. I got to skate for the LA Kings twice, and I got to go to China and skate there at their nationals the year before they had the Olympics there, and tour and do all that kind of stuff. And so I started teaching just because I love skating and I was really good at it, and I wanted to inspire people, and so that kind of just kept transferring over to everything else from singing and dance and musical theater. I was an elementary school Glee teacher, and then to you guys now. I just love trying to inspire all of you, and so if you guys do happen to find a video that inspires you and you make a piece off of it, please send me an email, Instagram me, Facebook me, Twitter me, do whatever social media type of stuff that you do, because I want to see them. I absolutely love it, and I am just so lucky that I have people in my life that inspire me, like my mom and my boyfriend and my dad and my little sister, which you'll see in upcoming videos. She'll be featured sometimes, and my aunt, and just everyone. And you know, I had even the simple things. You never know what helps out a kid in life. So I hope that you guys enjoy the channel. I hope that you find some inspiration here. I know I do. I find most of my inspiration, I don't know if you guys notice, from things that are very geeky or nerdy. I kind of fell in love with the whole fantasy and nerd culture, which is why my channel is called Looking for Adventure. Way back when I started watching Alice in Wonderland as a kid, and way back when I actually skated, I had one of my national and international numbers for theatrical ice theater. I skated as a fairy, and I don't know, ever since then, my entire life, I wanted to be some sort of fairy or elf. I think 3 years in a row for Halloween, I was a fairy. So I get a lot of my inspiration from fantasy and Lord of the Rings and Batman and comic books and all that kind of stuff. I've been super big into that my entire life, and it's so nice, especially being a girl, to just be able to share that with you guys. I think that it's just such a fun world to immerse yourself in, and I really hope that you see that inspiration and that you guys yourselves are inspired and you enjoy my channel. So please let me know what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys very, very, very soon. Bye!